All right. All right, so this is about Connect, and we're kind of doing a deep dive for tips and tricks and just about the Connect program. And so we're just so glad that you guys have joined us, and hopefully you'll learn something. I know some of you have seen this presentation before, but it's always good to have a refresher, and especially as you guys hopefully will start um, using the Connect series for programs. There will be a contest, or there is going to be there is a contest going, and Carrie can drop some of that in the chat later at the end of the webinar. So we'll go ahead and get started.
And
So,
Melinda,
oh,
let me switch over. It looks like the webinar chat is not enabled. So we'll
okay,
use the Q&A instead.
okay, all right, all right. So, I always like to talk about this, and anytime anybody takes any of my webinars or trainings, I always like to talk about our mission, because we always want to start with this when we're doing training as leaders. And if you don't know our mission, please learn it. You can see that there is no fundraising in that mission at all. Yes, it is a means to an end, and so we do need to do fundraising, but really our main goals are engaging and empowering our families, and we're advocating, right? And so we know for sure that parent engagement equals student success. And so we want to engage our families, get them on campus, get them involved, and then hopefully their students will be more successful. So if you haven't heard of Connect, Connect is it's a free turnkey program. It can be used for local or council leaders to host and facilitate the programs. They're flexible presentations, so you have options for length and scope of the program. It is a subject matter expert speaking about a subject that they're an expert in. So it's not a PTA leader like me talking about vaping. It is the Catch My Breath group, and they're talking about vaping. And we have people that are experts in cyberbullying talking about cyberbullying and that type of thing. And so just keep that in mind. It's really good content. There's a presentation guide with talking points, facilitation tips, and we're going to learn about all those things, optional activities, handouts, and extra resources for you to use. And then recent additions, we also have some panel discussion webinars that we're going to review. So these are the items that we have available to you to download and use as programs to your leaders or to your families. And as we talked about, there's this new panel discussion format. So if any of you have seen any of the panels on fentanyl, the smartphone epidemic, which that was done at the Capitol last year in place of Rally Day, because we only do that during the legislative session. So this was the year off. We did that smartphone topic. And then human trafficking was done back in November. So lots of experts on those panels as well, really great information. And so, there's just lots of opportunities for you guys to empower your families. So where do you find them? So you go to our website, txpta.org. You're going to go to member programs. You can click that big connect button, and I have it highlighted there for you. And then you can choose any of these topics, and then you'll get that. Once you fill that form out, it comes to your inbox immediately. Used to be that when somebody requested a program, it might take a little bit of time, but this is an automatic download or an email to your inbox. And so you get all the information, you get a folder of information to be able to use to promote and share your program. So we'll focus on one because I'm going to show you the document that we use that we call the one pager. But we're going to focus on the mental wellness primary, the difference between stress and anxiety. I'm not going to show the video because I want to really give you guys time for Q&A and anything there and answer your questions so that you feel more comfortable to do the program. This one was done by a counselor in Round Rock ISD. And so it was really good. And it's for primary kids. It's the difference between stress and anxiety. She kind of defines it. She really helps these kids and parents to understand what they are and the differences of them and how to help their students be more successful. So when I talk about the one pager, this is the document that I'm talking about. It has opportunities and information, program and the speaker information at the very top. So it'll introduce the speaker. It's Dr. Amy Grosso from Round Rock ISD and kind of gives her background and that type of information. We have tips on how to facilitate. We also are including our facilitation resource guide in that folder that you receive in your email. So there's this little blurb, but then there's a resource guide to use as well. So if you're not comfortable, we're giving you the tools to do that. Then next is what's inside. So it's an 8-minute video with Dr. Amy Grosso, and it tells what she's talking about. It talks about, if it's English and Spanish, and it also gives you some website for resources. And so we try and get all that information there, and that is unique to the presentation that you're downloading. And then we have your discussion questions that they're kind of open-ended questions, pretty simple questions. And, if you might have older kids in the audience that could do this and answer those questions, or you have parents. If you're not super comfortable facilitating, you could always have your principal or your counselor with you, just so that they can kind of take on some of if an audience member asks questions. But these are pretty simple questions after watching the video that you can ask just to engage your parents a little longer. And all of this should take maybe 20 minutes or so. So it can be used in conjunction with, a budget amendment meeting where you have to get enough people there for your quorum. It could be used, as you'll see, as a larger program, but we wanted to give you guys options for scope and length. So just kind of keep that in mind as you go through this. And then also something that's kind of new and improved is a survey template. So we really want you guys to have the opportunity to be able to survey the parents that came to your event. It is a template, so it's something that you guys can take and then save a copy, and then you can alter it to kind of make it your own personal survey. But we give you all the starting points, and you can use the survey straight up, or you can alter it. You can add some extra questions, that type of thing, and then be able to use that information to potentially pick another topic for a program, or just really feel how your parents kind of accepted your program that you did, what they liked or what they didn't like. You can add lots of things to it, but I encourage you to kind of keep it simple if you want them to answer it, right? And then if you have, tips and really great feedback, please share it with us. We give you that information there so that, because we want to know how our Connect programs are being received by our families, by you as leaders, and then kind of move from that so that we can make these things better. Maybe another topic that we haven't covered yet. We just need those ideas. And so I encourage you to do the survey, because how can we get better if we don't know what our parents want? And then you'll see that there are some extra resources included inside the kit too. All right, so if you want to take it up a notch, then on the back of this document is what we call the second part. It's the level 2, and it gives you additional options. So you would have some tips for after the program for gathering feedback, but also you can arrange for the counselor to address the participants about resources, do a small group activity, host ongoing get-togethers to talk about mental wellness and support. arrange for a panel of healthcare professionals so you could watch it together, maybe ask a couple questions or not, and then have that panel come up and answer questions from the audience, or have some pre-prepared questions as well. You can always ask that if you are asking, if you are having this as a 1 hour program in conjunction with the PTA meeting, then you might you send out an invite, get some RSVPs. You might ask them for questions at that point so you can kind of control the questions that are coming to your panelists. They can prepare better instead of like just blindly asking from the audience. And sometimes, as you know, as leaders, some of the questions can get a little crazy. You just don't know. Like for this, the difference between stress and anxiety, pretty tame subject, but when we get into human trafficking or cyberbullying or cybersecurity, there might be some other questions that you would like to kind of filter out. And so you could pre-ask questions. And then here's host an Inside Out movie to talk about the feelings piece. Of course, you want to make sure you have the copyright so that you don't wind up getting in trouble for showing the movie. And so there's lots of other ideas, as you can see. Something that we have really chosen to do, and you know, once you get in front of your audience, like these families are sitting there waiting to hear from you. And so it's a really great opportunity to talk about why PTA and advocacy are so important, why program, family engagement, membership is so important. And so we decided to add some advocacy connection talking points, and there's a link on there. I don't think I added that into the 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 presentation. And so if I can, I'll pull it up, or we can get Carrie to pull it up afterwards. But basically it is, or Carrie, can you send me maybe the link, and then we can do that after I finish. But it's just words to say, hey guys, you're talking to the audience now, and you want to talk about membership and why membership is so important and how it drives our voice when we advocate for our students and families in our communities. And whether that's at the local or state level, membership is really important. So the more members we have, as you guys know, the louder our voice, and our legislators listen better. And they're just more engaged with us if they know we have nearly 500,000 members versus, less. We have a lot of their constituents as members, and so then they're more likely to be engaged with us and listen, especially as we go to the Capitol and Rally Day and, advocate for all of our things, right? We want to make sure that we are communicating why that's so important to our members so that it could help your membership drive. And so be thinking about that, but that's included now so that we can really have the words. And it just is really short scripted words to talk about why membership and advocacy are important. And so one of the things, like we have it split up so that you can use like a really short blurb, or there's a longer script so that you can really work on that and practice that and then kind of be more comfortable. But you could read it verbatim from the script as well. So just kind of keep that in mind as you get in front of your audiences and you present any program. It doesn't even have to be a Connect, like to be able to know that you're going to be speaking to people about why membership and our advocacy efforts are so important, and maybe even highlight some of the successes we've had. So kind of keep that in mind. So that is the new improved piece on the back of that. And I apologize for not having that document in my presentation. I really need to add that. So I will do that after this is over. All right, so next steps, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. So you're going to schedule a time to host the program remotely. You can do these virtually. They're very simple to do virtually as well as in person. And then of course you'll work with your leadership on campus to make sure that the time works. Maybe you're incorporating it into a PTA meeting. And then you're going to take the time to invite your principal, school counselor, of course, all of the people in your community that might want to know more about the subject that you're hosting. And then you're going to facilitate the discussion among your attendees, and you're going to use the handy tips and all the information that we just talked about. All right, so confidence and preparation is key. So you don't want to just download it and go to your meeting and try and show it, right? You want to make sure that you are taking the time to review the program, review the video, look at the one pager, look at those questions and all the tips, maybe take a look at a deeper level with the facilitation guide. If you're taking it to the next level, like that level 2 on the back of the document, you're going to create a plan with your other team members. So either have a programs committee or your board, or, you're going to involve your counselor or other people that might be participating in this level 2 program that you're going to do. You're going to print out your handouts. And of course, if you're going to have a panelist and you want to prepare, you're going to invite them and prepare their bios and be able to introduce them and all those things, right? So it goes in different steps. And then, of course, you always want to arrive early to make sure you're not rushed. Make sure your technology is working. Like Carrie and I even got on before this, so I can make sure my screen sharing was working because I've been having trouble. Like, you always want to make sure technology is going to work, because it could work all the other times, and then when you're presenting, sometimes it is difficult. So those things, and then we want you to have fun and relax and enjoy it. The audience is going to have fun if you're having fun. So, of course, if it's a somber subject like human trafficking, obviously you're not going to come out there dancing and having fun, but you want to make sure that you're relaxed and you're kind of cool and pleasant and kind of helping the audience to stay calm, and you're going to just create a positive effect on your audience and make sure that they're all kind of engaged, right? And then great presenters don't solely rely on the visual aids like your presentation, but you're going to make eye contact with the people in your audience, and you're going to speak clearly about the topic. And this is where that preparation piece comes in handy. We want to make sure that we're prepared when we're doing a presentation, and because that's when you get nervous if you're not, right? And then things you start getting in that panic mode. And I mean, I know I do. Like, if I'm not prepared or my technology isn't working immediately, then I start getting flustered and I'm shaky. And then, the audience can tell some of those things. So just kind of be prepared. If you need to script it out, script it out. Like, write everything down, have a clipboard so it's nice and hard and stable. I know if I've done something with a piece of paper and I did a presentation, and that little piece of paper was whipping in the wind and it was embarrassing. And so I always use a clipboard or something like a hard folder or something to kind of ground myself and keep myself steady. Presenting is intimidating. And so anything that you can do to prepare, over prepare, then that really helps kind of keep your heart rate down and helps you to be prepared in all the things that you want to do. So, just kind of talking about that. And then I have it open for questions. If we're able, I would like to show you that document on the script. So, Carrie, do you have that? Because I don't, in my presentation, it's a screen shot, and so I can't go for the link in that.
I can see your chat.
And I'm gonna I'll show you my presentation, like my contact information, so you guys can take a screenshot of that or take a picture or whatever. Feel free to reach out to me, and then I'm gonna stop sharing so we can find that document and share that with you. Okay. All right. Short and sweet, but there's a lot of information in there. Carrie, do we have questions? Do you have that document to share?
It should be in your chat.
I'm not hearing you.
It should be in your chat.
Oh, okay. There we go. Let's see. I'm sorry. Okay, let me share my screen again. 1 second. All right, can you guys see it? All right. So basically, we wanted to give you the talking points so that you can talk about some of these things, not just us, right? And to really probably help you understand a little bit. I know that it took me a while as a local president to really figure out, okay, how do I want to talk about advocacy? How do I want to talk about membership? And it all ties together. So you have membership, but you have programs and you have advocacy work and all the things that you guys are doing on campus. It's all connected, and we want you guys to have the words to say in front of your audience. And so, we're thrilled to welcome you here tonight for this important and timely program. Our goal is to educate, inspire, and empower you. Do you know that as a PTA member, your membership strengthens our collective voice as we advocate for children at the campus, district, and state levels? If you haven't already, join a PTA. Please consider doing so now. Together, we can make a significant difference in ensuring every child reaches their full potential. And so it's simple stuff like that for them to make that connection, you helping them make that leap to be able to understand that membership and their advocacy efforts and all these things are connected and what your PTA offers to them. And so that's in the document when you request it, it is in the folder. And so we want you guys to be as prepared as possible and comfortable. And if you're not as comfortable sharing about advocacy and membership and all the things that you have a new skill set to develop and you have the tools to do that. And so we hope that is possible. Right. You guys have any questions? And I have to say, we have Melissa Hoskin is on the call today. So thanks, Melissa. She is on the Programs and Resources Committee. So she's done some of the work on the things that we've presented today. And very grateful for her and our committee. And of course, our director, Carrie Mays, who keeps us all on track. Right. So. All right. Any other questions or any questions? Come on. Guys don't have any questions about Connect. No question is too small or too big or stupid or anything. We all want to learn, and this is your opportunity to ask those questions.
No questions. Melissa said, "Hey friends, thank you for this. Y'all are awesome."
All right. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Sure, and use the resource. Oh, Carrie, can you put in the Q&A? I don't know, or you can put it in their chats to about the award or the prize. We're giving away prize, or if you want to just talk about it briefly, that would be great.
Pull it up. Seeing any other question? Oh, there's one open.
Well, we have a copy of this recording.
Yes, I'll put it on the website once we are done, or once it's done downloading, actually.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so is it possible to share the material that you presented?
Well, what you're going to do is go to, are you talking about the actual Connect program or the PowerPoint about the Connect program? The PowerPoint. Sure. I mean, it's going to be in the recording, so you'll have that information. But I'm happy to share the PowerPoint once I add that one document in it. So go ahead and email me at vppr@txpta.org and request that information from me. And then once I get this document that's on my screen, the Advocacy Connection talking points, I'll get that added and then share it so that you guys have it. Sure thing.
And I don't know, I tried to send the Connect webpage through chat.
Got it. So, and if you want access to the particular program, then you just go in and you click on whatever program it is that you want. You give your information, and then because it'll say request the program materials, and then you'll need to provide which one you want and your name and your school district, and then it'll shoot that information to you. So we're trying to capture the information so that we can ask you guys questions later, potentially. What you think, what you like, that type of thing.
And what Melinda was talking about, the prize, we are conducting a Host a Connect program and Share Your Story giveaway. And we were giving away free art supplies box that has like a class set of items that you could utilize at your school. So all you have to do, everything that you're already doing now is just download the information of what Connect you wanted to present, go and present it at your school, and then complete the evaluation at the end to let us know what you thought of the Connect. Or if, I think there's a question also in there, if you have any other ideas of other Connects topics that we could do. And that will, by completing the evaluation, that puts you into the drawing for those art supplies, and we will announce those in early May.
Oh, so we hope that you guys will use these. They're free programs. Liliana asked a question, how do you get information from parents to know what they will respond to? Are you talking about what topics they want to see? Because you could always, send out to know which topic to use. Okay, so you could always send out a survey asking them, listing out the programs that we are offering, and then they can click and you can kind of go by topic, or you can just choose one. If you have, if you are in a elementary school, you can't go wrong with the one that we were highlighting in this training, the difference between stress and anxiety with Dr. Amy Grosso. Like, she does an exceptional job. If you maybe are doing high school students, you might want to go into the human trafficking area. The vaping prevention for middle school, cybersecurity program, middle school to high school. Generation Tech could be for older kids because it's options for kids that maybe aren't going to choose college, right? And then there's a college readiness program. I wouldn't recommend the human trafficking panel discussion or program for younger kids without their parents being there. So when is the Connect drawing due, Carrie? Is it April?
We just said that we would announce in early May. I don't
Oh, okay.
know that we put a deadline on it. So before the end of April or by
Yeah,
the
so
end of
be
April.
looking for that date. It's always better to do any program in person, just so that you can be engaged and the people aren't checking out. So my recommendation is, if you have the ability to do the in-person, that you would definitely do an in-person. If you have families that say, well, I can't come to the daytime one, but I can do the nighttime, I can do a nighttime, or vice versa, because sometimes you have working parents, and if you have the program during the day, they can't do that. So you could rehost it as a second option in the evening as a virtual option. So you could do the live in-person one first thing in the morning, potentially in the library, and have like, juice and donuts or something. And those parents that are working then would have the virtual option you could do in at the evening time, and you just redo the whole thing. Now, if you're doing a very large and expanded program, then I would say do it in person at the school in the evening, so that you give the parents the best chance of all being able to get there. And because some of these programs are totally appropriate for their kids. So hopefully that answers that question. Okay, Melissa has a really great point, and this is collaborating with your leadership either at the district or the local level, because you don't ever want to do a program that maybe your counselors or your principal doesn't want. But she said in our district, we have sought guidance from our superintendent team and principals on what topics might be a high priority for the school district, along with parents' thoughts. So, and you can ask your students too. So that's really a great option. And when you are developing your calendar of programs, you always want to make sure that you are working with your administration team to pick the best programs that the principal and the counselor might want. Maybe you're having a really difficult time with some cyberbullying happen at your school, then maybe you choose that in conjunction with them. Like we are all guests on these school campuses, so we want to make sure that we're doing programs that really work well within what they're trying to accomplish. Because when we can really help them develop out and accomplish their goals, then they're going to be more grateful for you being on their campus, and support you in other things, because you're supporting them in your goals for teaching kids about mental wellness and that type of thing. So I'd really encourage you to, like Melissa said, to talk to your administrative team and make sure that they're in agreement with the programs that you're choosing. You can download it and then shoot it to your principal or your counselor and say, hey, I think this would be a really great program. And all the videos are, I would say, well, most of them are 15 minutes or less. So the whole program could take 30 minutes tops. And I think that the one that we used as an example is maybe, did it say 7 or 8 minutes? It was in the program. It said it. Go back. It is an 8-minute video. So that's really, you know, they're short in length, and then you can kind of step it up and take it up a notch like we talked about on the back of the document. Right? You see any other questions? Oh, there's more. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad everybody's starting to ask questions. Yeah, Melissa said anytime you can highlight students or get their participation, it really helps to get community members to make time to attend. So that's really great. You can talk about that, especially when you're going into the high school phases. People really start having conversations about college. So you could do the college readiness one, or, if you're not going to do Connect, you could get college counselors to come and talk in addition to those things, just to be preparing your audiences. So Liliana said, this is my first year being the VP of programs. Our PTA historically struggles with what constitutes a program. I'm trying to get a better sense of it. So anything that really engages your population. So the Reflections Art program that we do, that is over several months. That's a program. If you do something short and sweet, maybe a little run club or a get together after school, or anything constitutes a program. Now, what you want to do is make sure that you're not doing more fundraising than programming. So we like to say, if you have one fundraiser, then you should be doing 3 programs. And you don't necessarily have to pay for these programs. They can be free programs. You could do like a little book club. Anything that engages your families or your students, that's a program. Doesn't have to be big and expensive. Does that answer your question? Okay, she said it does, so yay. Well, good. And you can always feel free to, any of you can feel free to reach out to programs@txpta.org, or you can go to the VPPR@txpta.org and reach out to me if you have questions about, a program, something that you're thinking about doing. Feel free to reach out to us. That's what we're here for. Thanks, Carrie. she just is putting in the information in the chat. You're welcome. Thanks for attending. All right. If we don't have any more questions, I'll just end it early. Feel free to reach out with questions, or if you have a Connect idea. And please participate in our little prize thing. We want you to show the Connect programs, but we also want you to participate and win smart supplies for your school. That would be really fun. Winning is fun.